Hi everyone, it's Aisha here from God FM. I've come across some really good videos which I just really want to reshare with you. I will do some commenting on it where there's no wording and I'll read it. But it's all about obviously the mark of the beast, making a mark, and Satan's hive mind, system, electrics, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and obviously anything electronic, so your phone, the cloud, how it all works, how the hive mind of Satan works and ruling from his throne, what the mark is and how it is in effect now, the operation of it and the implementation of it, the reset, and also the financial system and what it contains. So what I believe is that you have 2-strand DNA, 72,000 each, and by this additional strand that they add, you get 218,000 strand DNA, which is the 666 mark. But it's very clever how it's done, because it's 6 score 6 score 6. So if you work it out the way the Lord's actually told you, there's that. But there's so many other things with Bill Gates, as in money, Bill, and new laws, the gates of hell, Microsoft Word, God is the Word. You've got microorganism, micro, soft tissue, and the Word being inserted, his word, which is his creation. Don't forget the devil is dead, lived backwards. So the devil is dead, and this means that everything he does is all about darkness, sin, and death. The metaverse, the cloud, copying what Jesus says about what he's going to be doing, arriving on a cloud. So all of this. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you find it informative. I hope you also have an amazing day. It's Aisha from God FM. Take care. Flu shots, deadly vaccinations, and 3rd-strand DNA.
Well, we've all heard of the bird flu, and we've heard of tuberculosis, and we've heard of flesh-eating diseases, and there's a number of things that have been going around in the media the last few years, including AIDS, which is still there, and now we have, even strange as it sounds, we have a rise to almost an epidemic level now of rabies, which we typically associate with animals. But when it crosses to the human barrier, to the barrier between animal and human, crosses that barrier into the human, there is no treatment. There is no cure for rabies. Now, you may not have heard this. This is not necessarily new, but it's coming to the forefront.
You know what this makes me think of?
What's that?
This is zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely. And that is the context in which the mainstream media right now is placing it, is in the zombie apocalypse. Because that's exactly how people present themselves, if you will. I'm speaking medically, but that's how they appear and how they behave is like a zombie because of the effects of rabies on the nervous system. There were last year and even earlier this year, there were actually drills conducted by our government on the zombie apocalypse and how would first responders, police officers, firefighters, paramedics, how would they deal with these people? So it sounds far-fetched to the average person who hasn't heard this before, but this is nothing new. But let's go beyond the rabies. Let's talk about people getting a flu shot or getting a avian flu inoculation. There's another very insidious disease, if you will, which is really a man-made disease. It's a biological construct called MERS coronavirus out of the Middle East. It's the Middle East respiratory syndrome. It's made its way into Europe to a strand of DNA. The purpose of the goal is to increase the surface area around this strand so that more information can be digitally imparted or programmed. Essentially what you're doing is you're creating a 3rd strand of DNA you are transferring that or imparting it into a person's body through a vaccine that that person's demanding because they're afraid of contracting MERS coronavirus or avian flu or whatever it may be. And so the government, if you will, or the powers that be sit back and they kind of chuckle when they say, well, we couldn't have forced people to take this vaccine or to take this hidden third strand of DNA. They would rebel against it. But if we create the problem and present the solution, people will demand the solution. Thus we achieve our ultimate goal of having this DNA in every person changed. Well, let's go deeper. What's the goal? What's the purpose? Yeah, you go around and change everybody's DNA. What do they become? They become a hybrid. The insidious part of this is that once a person is injected, almost immediately their DNA undergoes transformation. Almost immediately they lose all awareness of the fact that they've lost their independence, their ability to think on their own, to make decisions on their own, and to affect them on a moral level. Their moral independence, their beliefs, religious, moral, ethical, legal, all of those go away. If you remove the independent thought and that awareness that you've lost your independence is gone, what then do the powers that be do with these new forms of humans, hybrids? They can control them. They can turn them into a serf class, not S-U-R-F. They can turn them into a serf class, not S-U-R-F, not surfers, but S-E-R-F, a class of slaves to serve the elite, to serve the Ray Kurzweils of the world who want to achieve immortality, but they need to have labor to manufacture, develop all of the technologies. And they have enough technologies now. The technology, the scientific world, if you will, has reached the level where they don't care about hiding it anymore. Their agenda is so far advanced, both politically, philosophically, their sense of morals, and technologically, that no longer are they worried about you and me as the serf class and the coming serf class. They're not worried about what we think. They're not worried about us rebelling. And in fact, we won't rebel, partly because right now we've been so dumbed down through a variety of mechanisms. But once people demand the virus and they truly are dumbed down to where they've lost that awareness that something's happened to me, now they can do what they want with us. They are achieving what I call the hive mentality, like a beehive. Worker bees, soldier bees, serving the queen. The queen, in my estimation, is this elite class that's in power, and it's not the politicians. Forget the politicians. This has nothing to do with Republicans, Democrats, Tea Party, Libertarians. It has nothing to do with political structure or classes. It has to do with the small group that is in control and has been in control since ancient times.
This video was from www.anthonypatch.com. I hope you enjoyed it.
This is all about redesigning DNA in the computer. So if anyone out there was thinking that I was in the realm of conjecture, or worse, in the realm of fantasy and science fiction, I'm just reporting to you their research. And it's not hard to extrapolate the application of their research to present expectations to you as to what they're doing. It is the first time this important computation problem in bioinformatics is attempted on a quantum accelerator. When they say accelerator, think Operation Warp Speed. When they say accelerator, understand the time in which we are in, the reset, the false reset, the counterfeit reset. The accelerator is accelerating the ability to change the pattern of the human DNA. All of this information here, even though it was just published, is old news. It always is. You know that this is years in development beyond any public release of this information. So, in conclusion, the mark of the beast is the number, the image, and the name. The name is DNA. The number is the sequence of the DNA. The name is the DNA. The number is the sequence of the DNA. And the image, we are created fearfully and wonderfully. We are made in the image of God. Satan seeks to change that image and create an image of his own design. So embedded in what I'm talking about here of changing the pattern of DNA to match the pattern of the quantum computer is that we always have to go down to electrons. Electrons of the DNA, electrons of the quantum processor, the qubit chipset, the qubits, the quantum bits. The quantum bits are electrons. The quantum computers, its electrons within the computer are, within the chipset, are quantum entangled. That's the basis of quantum computing, quantum entanglement. Now you know why I named this magazine Entangled. The electrons within the DNA, it's not only the pattern of the DNA that's being changed, but the spin of the electrons, upspin and downspin. That too is a pattern of spin electrons. So going beyond this paper and the previous one that I cited for the dodecahedral arrangement of DNA, going beyond those papers is the examination of the spin of electrons. So the pattern of the spin of the electrons within the DNA, that spin of electrons, that pattern, must match the pattern of the electron spin in the quantum computer. When the patterns of electrons match one another, then they can become quantum entangled. And that is the line of communication, the DNA computer interface that takes place between the vaccinated post-reset under the Antichrist. That is the form of communication, the interface that takes place between those that took the mark of the beast and the form of communication, the interface that takes place between those that took the mark of the beast and the quantum computer that is running the beast system. Why patterns? Because the quantum computer is a divinatory machine that is based upon pattern recognition, recognizing patterns within data that is randomly generated by humans. That's the mechanism. That's the system of the beast. Random number generation, humans using computers, always as we use them, we are randomly producing patterns. The quantum computer takes in that data, recognizes those patterns, That's how it operates. It's a pattern recognition device, otherwise known as a divination machine. For that machine that operates based upon pattern recognition of data, it receives data from human DNA. The most efficient way to receive that information is not Wi-Fi,
There was some more videos which I was going to put in here, but for some reason it does not want to go, so I'll do another video with a compilation of zombies and nano and all the other things that I found interesting. If you wish to find God FM, please look for us on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, Telegram. We're God FM News, God FM School, Bible School, God FM Sermons, and God's Homeschool Church. We're also God's Missionaries, and if you wish to email me, please do. All of these on Telegram, by the way. admin@godfm.org.uk. Our website is www.godfm.org.uk. If you try and email me, you may have difficulties. We have been hacked, and we have had some difficulties getting our emails. So you can always ring the telephone number or make a comment. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. It's Aisha from God FM. Take care. Thank you.